Damn, it happens every time. Maybe next time. Maybe next time you can tell us. Maybe next time you can tell us. Welcome back, everyone, to the Gaming Podcast, episode 103, World Series edition. Look at us. What a way to come. That was amazing.
Dinger, baby.
Dinger. That was amazing to watch and everything.
Going from getting hit in the kneecap to the game-winning, series-winning homer.
That's how you do it.
You don't boo people. You don't boo. All the mayors are booing him,
you were
laughing.
Right. You were right,
he was
Marcel.
hurt.
Karma was it.
That guy was cheating. Nailing. He's from Mississauga. What are you doing? You're doing cheating, man. What the hell, man?
Unbelievable.
Crazy experience. Tired Steve. You had enough energy last night to celebrate?
Yeah, that was probably the only amount of energy I could muster. Coming back, we're both on the same flight. Coming back from TwitchCon. Yep. I am feeling it today, though. I think I probably would have appreciated that a few extra hours of sleep, but gotta cheer on our Jays. And I can't believe it. 32 years. I remember watching as a kid. At like 9 and 10 years old, watching the Blue Jays win both World Series back to back, and
I remember that one. Yeah,
I remember. I have distinct memories of sitting in our in my family's living room watching it. Like because I had to sit in front of the TV all the time, so I was always crisscross applesauce, like just sitting there, just looking up at the TV and just watching Joe Carter, Roberto Alomar, like just basically just taking it into both series, and now we're gonna get to watch them again, and this is gonna be so great. I can't wait.
And
anyway,
I can actually go out this time and celebrate instead of just running down the hallway of my building that I used to live to.
There you go. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm tired, but I'm very excited.
Now, I don't know.
The moments like this in Toronto sports do not happen often. We are far too comfortable, or not comfortable, I should say. We're far too used to these teams disappointing us, these teams making it as far as you could possibly go, and then right at the finish line they fumble. But this is definitely a moment to celebrate and be excited for. I'm worried about the Dodgers.
Were you around, Aaron, when they won?
Was I around? No, I was not. I was not. I was about 40. I was 4 years away. I was 4 years away.
You've never seen this before. The closest you see was the Raptors, which this team reminds me a lot of the Raptors.
So I was going to say the same thing. George Springer's kind of like in a very similar position as Kawhi, right?
Yeah,
like he's this guy that's he's not here for long, but he's here for
literally run off for one leg. Really Kawhi was run off one leg.
Yeah. This definitely feels like it's our Kawhi team for baseball.
I think you're right, because it's like Toronto fans, like sports fans, have been like starving for so long. Like if you think about it, the Leafs haven't won since '67. The Raptors only won once in their entire franchise history, and the Jays only winning twice in their franchise history, and the last time was 32 years ago.
Yeah,
we're like I said, I posted this on Blue Sky and actually kind of like took off a tiny bit, but I just said like this, like, I'm sorry for our friends who live in Seattle or live in LA or cheer for Seattle and LA. This is Canada's team right now, and we need this one. We need this one badly.
I think that's always what's so interesting about whether it's the Raptors or in this case the Jays is like we're the only Canadian team in the league.
That's it.
So you're not just representing all of Toronto, and you hear it every time they say when they're doing it for their fans. They don't say they're just doing it for Toronto; they're doing it for the country. So you got all of Canada rallying behind this team. Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm feeling good, and I'm excited today to talk about some video games too.
You know what? These guys, they also understand it as well. Like I feel like a lot of people come here. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it for you guys, but these guys are like, no, there's a whole country, and they understand with the whole when they travel and everything. And so, like you said, Steve, sorry to our friends in Seattle. I messaged a couple of them. I messaged Aaron. I messaged Brittany as well. I'm like, I'm sorry, we needed this more than you guys. They're like, we'd rather lose to you guys than anyone else. So
I mean, if we did have to lose, I mean, Seattle going to the World Series for their first time,
I'll be going for them.
Great, I would have totally cheered for them 100%. But like, we also needed this one too. Like that, I think I heard it before the series that like There's no rivalry between like Mariners and Blue Jays. Like either team winning is a good thing, and so
this was certainly a much different series than the Yankees.
The Yankees.
I'll say that much.
I wanted us to crush the Yankees so bad.
And not everyone wants us. Yeah. And not everyone wants us to beat the Dodgers because they don't want to see them win. So
I feel like even everyone in the U.S. is also like, please beat the Dodgers.
Beat the Dodgers. For the love of God.
Hey, at least we get Ohtani taking a plane to Toronto this time around.
Yeah, that's right. Not faking it, Ohtani.
Plane, yeah.
Karma's coming for him. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
For which one? Who? For Naylor?
For Ohtani. Because they used us for fattening up his wallet.
Yeah. He chose money over a team that would have loved him.
No, we were gonna give him $700 million, and then he reported that to everyone, and then the Dodgers like, well, here's $750.
That's what I said.
Was his agent gambling in it too?
Yeah, he chose money over having a team that would have loved him and taken care of him.
It's fine. You know who needs love?
That, though, Ohtani and Vlad and Springer and Kirk.
We would have been a dynasty.
We would have been a dynasty right now. Yeah.
Anyway,
you know who needs love right now? Xbox.
I was about to say. You were going to say Xbox.
They need love right now.
I don't even know, but the green needs a little love.
Green needs a little love. Yeah,
green needs a little love right now. I don't even know which one to even start with. I think I'll start with the Sarah Bond statement here because basically Sarah Bond's like, don't look at us, look at ASUS. They're the ones who jack up the price. We just slap a little X button on it.
Yeah.
So Sarah Bond stated that the price of the ROG Xbox Ally X was not Xbox decisions, but it's rather a choice made by the hardware manufacturer ASUS. She explained that Microsoft partnered with ASUS to create an option for gamers, but ASUS determined the final price based on the marketing insight and hardware costs. So she's like, don't be yelling on us. Just look at those guys.
That's crazy.
If you think about it, though, in regards to like the handheld gaming landscape, they didn't charge that much more than their own Ally, like the Ally X, or even the original. Like it is in line with like a little bit more than the price for their previous versions. I think it's just like, I think making $100-$200 more. So they are like, ASUS is competitive in that way. I never thought that this was going to be a cheap device. I don't think anybody really thought this was going to be a cheap device, even with everything of going on. So I see what like Sarah is saying. It's like, it is ASUS who chooses the price because they're the ones who have been selling handheld hardware already, and Xbox, this is their sort of first sort of foray into it. But also, on the other end, it does make it seem as if 100% that she's just throwing ASUS under the bus.
I mean,
like she's kind of speaking objectively, right? Like she's answering a question, and we're obviously pulling a quote in this instance. Like, who knows what the context is of how she was delivering this information and everything, right? Like, you can only get so much information off of just text. But at the end of the day, it really does seem like she's just saying, hey, guys, it's not us, you know?
Yeah.
And that is tough. Like, yes, it's fair to say that the Xbox Ally isn't that wild of an increase when compared to the ROG Ally or the ROG Ally X. It's just obviously for a handheld device that can only do so much. It's a high price. It's a high price. You know, for a lot of people, it's a very niche item. You'd have to be really into sort of handhelds and want that sort of experience. Whereas if you wanted just a PC, you only got to spend a little bit more to get a full-fledged desktop that can give you everything you need and play some of the games that you want it to play at relatively higher settings. And so in this instance, Sarah Bond saying what she's saying, I think that's tough. I feel like she could have probably given a bit more of a diplomatic answer. Something that
could he talk about the market? Be like, hey, the mark's rough right now. It's unpredictable.
It was a choice decision between Xbox and ASUS.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like just straight up saying like, hey, ASUS kind of handles all the pricing.
But look at me, look at them.
It puts a lot of pressure on them, and it's tough because this was, at least when it was first announced, for a lot of people, a really exciting partnership. And it was the idea that this could create a promise of more products down the line in collaboration between Xbox and ASUS. And who knows now, after a statement like that, what it could do to the relationship between ASUS and Xbox.
Yeah.
Why do you think they waited so long to reveal the price?
Because it was high.
It was high because it was higher?
Yeah, I think it was.
They went into like the final day. I feel like.
Yeah, I think it was definitely, dude. Yeah, this was going to be high, but I think it was trying to figure out. Again, I mean, we bring this whole conversation into it again, but it is because the tariffs. Like we don't like the market is so in flux because we never know what it's like. The market's never going to know what is going to happen from day to day. They can't predict what prices are going to need to be like in a certain amount. Now, granted, would I'd still like to be able to have things cheaper or bring the costs down for a lot of hardware and software. Yes, 100%. I want that, but it's I think it's that 100% is like they just didn't know what to price it at to be A, competitive, B, make at least a decent profit from, and C, what was going to be the manufacturing cost that they were going to have to swallow in order to be able to just make it happen. So I think it was a combination of a lot of things.
Yeah. It's tough.
I don't know. It's tough out there, man.
It's a good device, though. That's the thing. I wish that more people could get access to it because it is a great device. I played a little bit on this weekend with a TwitchCon, and I loved it. It was awesome.
Yeah. That I think is the hardest part about it, right? Is it's expensive, and there really isn't any way to kind of dance around that, especially here in Canada. The Canadian prices is crazy. It's crazy.
1,500.
But as we said when we were talking about it and reviewing it over on your channel there, Steve, at the end of the day, if this was something you were interested in, if your way to play games is handheld, on the go, those quick, like, I'm about to go to bed, let me get like 30 minutes of my game in. If that is your ideal version of playing video games, it is the ultimate system for that right now. Yep. It has everything you need. It runs really well. And it's a great interface. It's definitely a lot more streamlined than the previous models like the ROG Ally and the Ally X. So it's a good handheld system. It's just, if you are somebody who plays games on their PC already, maybe has a console already, and you were like, yeah, kind of want to dabble into getting a handheld device, this doesn't seem like it's the way to go because of that price. You can get something that's more affordable and gets the job done. Even the previous versions of the Ally.
It's going to have some of the features popping up there soon.
Exactly, right? And so that's why it is really, really tough to sell the idea that it is really good, but it costs so much.
Yeah. Like and another thing I feel like they keep forgetting to mention, it is a computer in a way. If you are traveling and you have like if there's a monitor or just hook it up to your hotel TV if you wanted to, buy the dock with it, it becomes a laptop on the go on top of that. So the benefit of it is, yes, I know it's a gaming handheld and that's the main priority of it as well, but no, you can still do a lot more with it on top of that.
It's essentially a pretty decent laptop if you want to be able to get stuff done. May not be sort of the best at everything, but it'll work in a pinch if you need to. And I think you're right, Aaron. I think this is definitely like a second console or second household console. It's definitely not a replacement or a solo kind of console thing, unless that handheld gaming is your jam. Like that's the thing that you prefer, then, and you want to sell your consoles and to get this, then I understand that. Or if you don't have any consoles, you want to get this, then I understand that. But it is definitely like a niche within a niche. And I mean, I've kind of said before the beginning of this year, I kind of like thought that this year was going to be the year of the PC and potentially the PC handheld because of the momentum we had going into this year. We had rumors of potentially Steam Deck 2. We had the rumors of the Xbox and PlayStation handhelds at that point. Plus also like with everything happening within the console space, we like PC gaming was only going to start to take off. And I think we're still kind of in that point. But when you see like handhelds like this, you kind of like it's not necessarily like the momentum is stopped, it's just slowed. I think that given once a Steam Deck 2 comes out or once PlayStation comes out with theirs, I think they're still going to keep feeding that market, but I don't think it's going to dominate as we had hoped. I mean, I think the Switch is probably going to be the only outlier in that because they're always going to sell, and that's the Nintendo's consoles. So
that's all they got now.
Yeah, but if you're talking like we're strictly PC related only, I think it's going to be basically still a niche market that'll sell, and it'll be a good profit margin for certain companies. But I don't think it's going to be the be all end all for a company.
Yeah, and then it's still selling well too, right? Like it's sold like it's.
I think she said I don't know how many out units. On the Xbox store. It's selling quickly on other stores. So I don't. They don't have any official numbers out there, but it seems to be selling well for them.
Positive, it just sucks she quoted it that way because she could have just mentioned that. Hey, the market's not good right now. Keep it simple as that. You know, not
there was definitely a way to frame it that didn't put the onus entirely on ASUS.
Yeah.
And like I said, just something that could have been a bit more diplomatic because it's just not a great look. It's not a great look.
Yeah.
I'm sure that probably Phil had to get or Sarah had to get on a call with somebody at ASUS and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I said, we love you guys.
So we love you.
Yeah, we love you. That's what I was saying. That happened there. Yeah. And then, well, you know what? Let's just add more sadness there. They really do need a win right now. Okay, like
we've been saying that all year.
They really need. Sometimes they'll do good, and then they just do something that horrific. You know, like I don't understand. Like you know, like raising the prices of their dev kits now from $1,500 to $2,000.
You see, Xbox is kind of like what Toronto sports is, you know? Where
you're not wrong.
I want to hear what you say about
when you think about it, right? Is like Xbox does this thing where they reveal their new console or they reveal this new game, and you're like, wait a second, is Xbox back? Yeah. And then that game comes out or that console launches, and you're like, no. So we're hoping that at some point in the future, Xbox can have the Springer Dinger in Game 7 against the Mariners and head to the World Series. You know, we want Xbox to compete again. I've been saying this time and time again on the podcast. What is really bad about this console generation towards as well the end of the last one was the fact that Xbox just got dominated, that Xbox was just completely out of the race. Nintendo has its own audience. Nintendo caters to that audience. Those people aren't often cross-pollinating to like a PlayStation or an Xbox. And so PlayStation isn't really competing with Nintendo. It was PlayStation and Xbox going head to head. That competition was what gave us so many great games from the 360 and PS3 era. It's what gave us the incredible lineup of first-party exclusives for the PS4 because PlayStation wanted to win. And Xbox was like, well, we can't keep up. So they just kind of dropped out of the race and they stayed out of it with this latest console generation. Whereas I really do think if Xbox tries to push back, tries to get some of these crazy good first-party exclusives, make the next Senua's Saga a Game of the Year worthy game, then you're looking at a situation where PlayStation doesn't just sit on their hands for 10 years and says, let's experiment with games as a service and see if it works. It doesn't. All right, well, give us 5 more years. We'll start releasing some first-party exclusives for you guys. You know, like we need that competition. It's healthy. It creates an environment where PlayStation knows they need to innovate. They need to get creative. They need to try and put out some of these good first-party exclusives to bite back at Xbox. And then it should then create an environment for Xbox to want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for out of the future.
Yeah.
I would agree with your Toronto analogy a little bit.
It hurts to hear that, and you're right.
I'll change a time. I think Xbox is the 2024 Blue Jays.
Okay.
Last place right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they had some pretty decent seasons. I mean, we're all like, think back to we all thought back about the 2015 season.
Right.
Where like we felt we were really, really close, but just almost had it. And I think that Xbox was really, really close of doing well. We had, as you said, going from the 360 like era, it was like we felt like that Xbox was gonna come out on top, and then it just didn't unfortunately make it through. I think that, and not to say that I'm just a hopeless, like optimistic in that sense, but I want to see Xbox win, and whether that means that they're going to be only a third-party publisher, where they're just like they're not reliant on the box anymore, or they are going to still produce hardware and software that's exclusive to the box, instead of just sort of having it compatible for across all their devices. I don't know. Or even just their games that basically, as we've talked about many times before, like they've never been nominated for a game award, and like Game of the Year award at least, and it's been rough. And I want to see that. I want to see them win. I want to have that drought be over. But I think, there are pieces that are lining up that they have. We just are only like we've just been focusing on what they've screwed up on because there's been a lot of mistakes this year. Yeah. So I think that Xbox does have an opportunity to be able to get better. I just hope that's sooner in regards to say like the difference between last season of the Blue Jays to this season of the Blue Jays, than necessarily several years down the line where everyone's saying, "Hey, remember Xbox?"
Yeah.
Like, can you guys tell me what Xbox identity is? Like, I don't know what they are anymore.
Right now, no. It's.
I don't know what their vision is.
Yeah.
It used to be Game Pass.
To be honest, it feels like the first thing you would immediately think about is Game Pass. But now you look at all the controversy surrounding that and the price hikes, and it's just it has been a lot of one step forward, two steps back.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you, Steve. A lot of the right pieces are in place. It's just the execution needs to be like on point in order for Xbox to really begin to succeed again. I don't think it's impossible, but I do think that they've dug themselves quite a hole at this point.
Do you think they also changed like plans like very quickly as well? Like
I think so.
Turn around like there's a short leash on many things.
I feel like that's just something that goes across the entire industry, right? Like a lot of ideas and plans and things that, like I said, look at PlayStation, right? They wanted to go all in on games as a service.
Yeah.
And everything in this industry, it really changes on a dime. It changes on the fly. You realize 1 second that Fortnite and Warzone and all these things are the juggernauts of video games. And you think, okay, we can put out 10 more of those and people will be invested, right? And it's like, no, that's just not the case. People are invested in Fortnite and Warzone because those are the only two things they want to be invested in. They don't want Concord and an Avengers live service game and Suicide Squad live service. It's like, no, like people are only going to put so much time into a couple of games. So PlayStation had the wrong focus. They had to change their plans. And it's very similar with Xbox. It's just in the things that Xbox wants to succeed in, the things that they are willing to go all in on and execute, they aren't fully executing correctly. Whereas at least with PlayStation, for as much as they've certainly had some misfires in this console generation, you still got a Wolverine game coming next year. You know, you still got Ghost of Yotei, which is a potential Game of the Year nominee. Death Stranding 2, potential Game of the Year nominee, right? There are a lot of things that they still got, a lot of cogs still turning at PlayStation to allow them to. There you go.
Next year, we're Gears anniversary.
That could be a big step forward for Xbox. If we get this next Gears, if E-Day is a big hit, that could be like a hold on. Are we back? Like, we're going to Game 7, guys.
And we're supposed to hear, I guess, soon from about Halo. So
that's right. In a couple of days, actually.
So and then we're getting Forza next year as well.
All of these rumors too that it's going to be straight up the Combat Evolved remake, which would be really, really exciting if that does end up being the case. Depending on obviously again how they execute it. That's why I'm saying there's things you hear about Xbox where you're like, are we back? Like, this sounds good, but you just got to hope that they land.
Are those games staying on Xbox and PC? I don't remember. Or are they going everywhere? I guess like their whole like lineup, like the Halo, Gears.
I would imagine the Combat Evolved remake will be a PC thing because I do think that even though Halo Infinite wasn't as big of a success for them as they wanted it to be, I think going day and date on PC, having multiplayer
PC, Xbox as well.
I feel like that was pretty big for them.
Yeah, I think that we might see some things being ported. Yeah, basically, I would definitely see them wanting to be able to do Xbox and PC day and date. I think I think they've realized that it makes sense to be able to diversify in that sense. Will we see Xbox, PC, and PlayStation in that sort of same vein? I don't think so. At least maybe not right away. I think probably next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they started doing more Gears releases or remaster releases like they did with the first Gears of War earlier this year, or back in August, I should say, for PlayStation, or all their consoles. But I think that with the anniversary, I think they're going to want to be able to like focus in on Xbox.
Keep it home.
Keep it at home, yeah. I mean, if you got like 3 of the major Xbox franchises of Halo, Gears, and Forza, if they're all coming out next year, plus Fable too, if that's coming out, so like they've got stuff lined up that could make a great Xbox year. It's just whether or not it's going to be shared across multiple platforms, or if it's just going to be Xbox and PC for a little while. That I think it remains to be seen.
See, that's the thing. I feel like I would like them to keep it, I guess, home with Xbox and PC, because that will help them maybe even sell some of their consoles that they don't want to sell anymore or anything like that. But then I have the mindset of they want money as well, business, make more revenue, and the only way you can do that is if you put it everywhere. So that's why I'm like, will they keep it Xbox only, like home turf, or are they going going away the other team's stadium? Where, as you can tell, this is a full baseball episode right here. So
we're full of the metaphors.
We're full of right now, yeah. So like I don't know. I don't know which route is best for them, like to put it everywhere or keep it at home, because like that's why I feel like that's where the Xbox identity has been gone. Like the fact that it's great to have their games everywhere. I understand remasters like the Gears one that came out, Indiana Jones eventually coming on PlayStation, and soon Switch next year as well. Yep. Switch 2. It just at this point you're like, well, why do I need an Xbox then? Let me just wait, you know?
Yeah, and that's not an unfair thing for a consumer to think, right? Sure. If they're like, because let's say you're a massive Indiana Jones fan and you were of the mindset like, oh man, is this Xbox exclusive? And then you hear not too long after release that, oh no, it's coming to PlayStation. You're like, oh, okay, I'm good. Great. I got my PS5. I'll just wait a couple extra months. You know, why spend the $600?
Let me go buy the Pro. I can pick up Indiana Jones down the road.
and we talked about this a couple episodes prior as well, where I'm saying that like the next Oblivion game or the next Elder Scrolls, it should be exclusive to Xbox. Like there was so much uproar from people about saying that they didn't want that. Well, they spent billions of dollars on Bethesda. Let's put that money to good use.
Be selfish about it.
Yeah, let's get some consoles into people's hands.
I think
you don't see Spider-Man coming to Xbox. I'm just saying.
Right, but they said the same thing about Starfield. That's like that's got to be exclusive, right? And it wasn't. Like it just or wait, sorry, did it get ported? No, I'm blanking on it.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet.
So they're keeping it open. I think for right now, I mean, like, I honestly, I mean, I think I said this probably on the show before.
Sorry to cut you off, but planned for a 2026 release according to Rumours.
Okay. But Bethesda has basically been kind of, honestly, Bethesda and Obsidian, which I guess Obsidian can kind of be almost considered Bethesda almost at this point. They've been the ones that have been propping up Xbox. Xbox Studios hasn't really been hitting, whereas like Bethesda has been hitting kind of on almost all
Indiana Jones, Avowed.
Yep. And I would say like with we're gonna get Outer Worlds 2. Like I think even Starfield, it wasn't necessarily a huge hit, but it still was pretty
got an
decent.
Audience.
It drew an audience. And obviously they still keep releasing new updates to Elder Scrolls Online and that people seem to enjoy. Fallout 76 has had a resurgence because of the show, and so I think that like and even Doom had a like huge year this year too. So I think it's like Bethesda's kind of been propping them up, and I'm kind of still waiting for Xbox to be like, okay, and then also us too. Like, Bethesda's part of Xbox, it could be argued, but I think that they've been the only ones that have been able to release really anything that has been close to being decent this past 2 years since they've owned it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I don't know. I don't like. Besides, if they don't, I feel like they'll be better if they're third party at this point. Like that's what they're slowly like forming into. I feel like.
To be honest, I mean, I know that people have been kind of saying that that's going to be the case. I don't know if I want them to. I still want them to focus
I don't want
on
that
hardware,
either. Yeah,
but I think that they should still like. I think their approach, it seems to be, everyone keeps saying, "Oh, they're just going to not do hardware at all," and I don't think that's going to be the case. I still think that they're going to go the Microsoft route. They produce Surface laptops. Are they the top laptops in the market? No, but they are Microsoft made. And I think that Xbox is going to be the same thing. They still will produce Xboxes. Are they the best in the market? No, but they at least will be able to they'll be decently made. And even with apparently in that same interview, Sarah had been saying that they're looking at potentially like a PC/console hybrid with the new next gen. I think that's kind of where the industry is going. And if we said before, like we think that like Xbox kind of reacts a little too quickly. They are pretty good at reacting to at least somewhat where the industry is going quicker than say PlayStation. And and that could be the detriment to them. That is definitely a huge risk. And we've seen already some of those risks pay off and some don't. And I don't know. I think that having it as a PC hybrid, basically kind of like seeing what the Xbox handheld has been, where you can have all these storefronts in the same Xbox app, it is kind of great. It works seamlessly, and I love seeing that kind of future where I don't have to be like, okay, well, I need to be on this device in order to be able to do this. I like the ability of just having all the games, all my entire gaming library in a place that I could very easily play them.
Yeah.
I feel like that next PC console hybrid, I'm seeing $1,500 minimum.
Probably if it's a PC console hybrid, yes.
Minimum, yeah, it's gonna be minimum $1,500. Just letting you know right now, everyone. Prepare
Marcel,
yourselves.
It will have an Xbox button on it.
Oh, it will have an Xbox button. Yeah, it'll come with a controller. It would also. This is my prediction. If it is going to be Xbox PC hybrid, it'll be a decent PC with a decent, like, kind of similar to like I guess like more of a mobile sort of like hardware, like with GPU and CPU. It'll run Windows 11 as they do. They'll run the full screen. Hold on. It will run the full screen Windows experience because that's what they're building towards. It's gonna come with an Xbox controller, and then that way it's gonna be a somewhat decent PC, and it's gonna be a starter PC for folks because. Yeah, I think PC hardware ain't cheap either. We're looking at like at least about $2,500 for like average for a decent PC to be able to play a lot of the games that we play. If they're going to come up with one that's like $1,500, but it can also be a PC and a console at the same time.
DLSS power and all that stuff, and
well, they're AMD, so it's FSR, but
FSR,
yeah. But if they can be able to create something like that, and then also release it the full screen Xbox experience, like they've said they're going to for at least the handhelds, they could do that for PCs as well. I think we're going to see a lot more like actual traditional PCs turn into basically kind of the Xbox full screen experience, and that can, I don't know. There's a lot of areas I think they can go, and I'd be curious to see which one they eventually kind of decide upon.
Yeah. And then they will blame AMD for the price. So there you go. All right. Exactly. Aaron, you're gonna like this. Warner Brothers looking for people to buy out some of their stuff. Yeah, even from Paramount as well.
Yeah. Okay. So this, I'll be honest. I think there is just no good way to spin this. This is really, really bad for the film industry. And obviously,
and potentially gaming as well, because part of the entertainment part of it, right?
We don't know exactly what it could mean for WB Games, right? So yeah, Warner Brothers is looking to sell. David Zaslav has officially confirmed it. They're getting offers. There's been rumors and reports that Netflix is trying to buy. There was a rumor as well that apparently Warner Brothers declined Paramount's first offer. Like Michael Scott says, you always reject the first offer. So we'll have to see what ends up happening here. But it does look like pretty much no matter which way you're going to slice it, whether it's Paramount, whether it's Netflix, or who knows who else is bidding, someone's going to be buying out Warner Brothers Discovery. This will be like the fourth or fifth time that they merge or be sold to some other company or whatever in the last 5 or so years. And then again, who knows what it can mean for the game, especially because if you're a big film studio and you are buying out Warner Brothers and they're saying, hey, here's our games division. We've lost a ton of money in the last 2 years. What do you do if you're a Paramount or a Netflix? Do you even bother with that arm? Like, what do you do? And I think that's what gets me particularly nervous, because the film industry is very much just like, we make the movies, you know. Some of them try to dabble in the video games, but they just don't care as much. They don't see the vision for it as much. And so a Paramount might not necessarily give a crap about a WB Games. A Netflix maybe, but then if Netflix buys Warner Brothers, that's really going to become like the beginning of the end for movie theaters, because then it's like, who, like, are all the next DC lineup of movies going to be all Netflix exclusives? You know, are all the shows Netflix exclusives? Are we never going to see a movie in theaters again, basically? So
I get ads between the movies and everything.
Exactly. Like, all of this is terrifying to me. And it's especially such a bummer if things don't go well for the gaming arm, because they have such a rich wealth of IP to make some cool games off of. And apparently, like, there's all these reports and stuff that Warner Brothers WB Games has been trying to restructure, that they've got like kind of key figureheads for their major franchises going forward. You know, rumors that maybe WB Montreal might be doing, I think it was like something Game of Thrones related or something like that.
Yeah.
We obviously know like NetherRealm is out there doing their Mortal Kombat or their Injustice games. We have Rocksteady potentially working on a new Batman game. Like, there is a lot that could be really exciting on the horizon for WB Games, and they're trying to restructure and fix things after big failures like Suicide Squad, like the Quidditch game, even Gotham Knights, I think, like, barely broke even. So obviously wasn't near the success that they wanted it to be. The only thing that they did really hit big with as of late was Hogwarts Legacy. But I don't even think like a Hogwarts Legacy 2 is going to make all that much money, or at least not comparable to the first game. And so this is a tough position to be in for WB. It's a bummer, honestly, that they're planning to sell, because on the film side of things, they've had an incredible year. Yeah. There was all these rumors that the two studio heads were potentially going to get knocked out of there. But then they released, I think for the first time ever in film history, it was like the last 10 or something Warner Brothers film releases all launched at 40 million plus opening weekend at the box office, which is insane. Like the Minecraft movie. I mean, yeah, okay, big memes and this and that, but like almost $1 billion
that
movie.
Chicken saved them.
Yeah,
Chicken jockey,
yeah.
Chicken jockey, man. You know, F1 was huge for them this year too. That's such a good movie as well. So, and Sinners, I think, was Warner Brothers.
Sinners, huge, yeah,
huge hit. Rare, like, lower budget, made a ton of money after great word of mouth, and is going to win a ton of Oscars as well, by the way. So they have had an incredible year on the film side of things, and it almost feels like that's why they're selling, which is weird. It should be the opposite. It should be like, oh, we're in a tough position, let's just get rid of the company to put some money in. But it's almost like David Zaslav was like, okay, finally, we have some market value. Finally, like, Warner Brothers actually looks good enough to buy.
Let's give it away.
Let's sell it out of it, right? So that's what I'm reading here, and I'm bummed. Honestly, because it's the same way we're all like not the biggest fan of Xbox acquiring Bethesda and Activision. You want these publishers to be their own thing. You know, you want that wealth, that diversification of the games that you can get. And I want the same for the film industry. I do not want it to be Disney and Warner Brothers, or Disney and
and
I don't know who else, Paramount that own
Brothers.
everything, you know,
Paramount Brothers,
have it all.
Yeah.
Because then it's just, who knows what kind of films you're going to get. You're always going to have somebody in a suit at the very top of the line who's saying, I don't know if we should make that movie, right?
Yeah.
How many Sinners are going to come out when you own every single thing? How many times?
We literally just saw a story, I think, like yesterday or today, of Adam Driver pitched a really cool Ben Solo movie, and Lucasfilm was like, "Yeah, let's do it," and Disney said no because they thought he was dead.
How do we like fumble this bag? And yeah, that is definitely a great example of the future we could be looking at. Okay, maybe there's still going to be some indie films out there. Obviously, you're going to have like auteur directors who are going to get their visions fulfilled for the films they want to make, but you might not get those cool franchise movies that make a ton of sense, or at least are a great pitch. But somebody at the top is like, no, I don't want to do that. You know?
Warner Brothers had always had a reputation of sort of the auteur sort of filmmaker. Like they don't like, they're not like, their franchises essentially haven't really like done super well.
They did until they didn't.
But
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Because they have like the Ryan Cooglers, they have the Christopher Nolans, they have like they invest in those directors and be like, hey, whatever you want, you make money for us, so you do whatever you want, and that's where we kind of get the some of the biggest movies of all time, or some of the best movies of all time from that. Whereas like Paramount, they haven't really like had that in a long time.
I think outside of Sonic, Paramount hasn't handled a single one of their IPs well.
Their Mission Impossible Top Gun franchise.
Okay, Mission Impossible Top Gun.
That's
which
done
makes
now.
it like keeping Paramount afloat, to be honest.
I'll give them credit for that, right? But
what, you guys don't like Bar Rescue? Like, what the hell?
What the hell did they do to Transformers? Like, those used to be the biggest movies ever. That animated movie was like, that's for me. That should have won Best Animated Film at the Oscars.
Same with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so we're looking at all these IPs that, like, I feel like the marketing just hasn't been there, or something has been mismanaged. They have been teasing and talking about doing Transformers and G.I. Joe as a crossover movie since Joe Carter won the World Series. Like, okay, to keep the baseball theme going. They have been trying to handle these IPs in a certain way, but for some reason, they keep fumbling the bag. And so, Paramount, I think, would be a really scary buy for that reason. And then Netflix is its own demon if they were to buy Warner Brothers, because Ted Sarandos is so stubborn about theatrical releases, to the point even where like they bought out the Knives Out franchise. And why can't I remember the director's name now? Rian Johnson. Is like basically saying, I hate it here. He's basically saying, I want to put these movies in theaters so badly. He's like, you can hear the sigh of relief every time they get to premiere their movies at TIFF. Glass Onion was amazing. I'm so glad that it had at least a limited release in theaters so that I could have seen it. But there are so many people that couldn't because they are not close to the theater that it's available in. Or they just didn't have the time to, right?
Wasn't there like a ruling of in order to be considered for like an Oscar,
you have to have a release.
Like, that's why Netflix decided to put things out in limited release in theaters, just so they can be able to submit it, which that's good strategy, but you're right. It kind of does sort of like diminishes the impact that movie theaters like can have on a film. And I love being able to watch movies from home. I'm a big streamer. I'm a big streaming fan. I have pretty much all the streaming subscriptions. It cost me a ton, and I'm even sharing some with my family that apparently I'm paying for all of it. But either way, that's another random. And I used to love going to the movie theater. I used to love, like, it was, I remember when I first moved back to Toronto after spending a year, like, in kind of like this rural part of Ontario, where the closest movie theater was an hour and a half away. And if you can't drive, an hour and a half away is like, might as well be on the moon. When I came back to Toronto, I remember from the period of August to December of that year, I watched 52 movies in the movie theaters. Sometimes even like a double or triple features within the same weekend. And because I just missed it so much. I didn't even get, if the trailer looked interesting, I just watched it. I didn't care what looking at the reviews. I just was like gonna go see it.
Yep.
And I used to love doing that all the time with all the new movie releases. And as I say, the pandemic is kind of really the cause. It was the beginning of it for me.
Yes.
I think I've barely seen a movie in the theater all year this year. I think I've seen Superman and Fantastic Four. That's it.
And for me, at least, I don't know what it was like for you, Steve. For me, that some of the best movie theater experiences in a long while. Going to see Superman and Fantastic Four.
Absolutely.
Seeing that with a crowd full of people that are super energized and excited for these films and getting to react and enjoy them with that crowd. It's the same way where, like, for instance, recent movie that just came out, Naked Gun. That movie hits way harder in a theater full of people that are crying, laughing at all the jokes, where everything is landing, versus you're just sitting in your living room with your buddy and you're watching it. You know, nothing wrong with that version of the experience, right? Like, that's totally fine. It's just that shouldn't be the definitive movie-going experience. And it feels like that's the trajectory that Netflix wants things to head towards. And it's starting to ruin the theater industry as a whole, right? COVID was definitely a big catalyst towards it as well, where they started putting movies out day and date on HBO Max. And that's what lost them Christopher Nolan as a client. And then now, instead of just saying, let's go back to the way it was, they've kind of like met in the middle. So Superman, which should be a movie that stays in theater all summer, ends up coming to digital like 30 days after release. That should be a movie.
Wait.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, I'll just wait a month.
Why, if you are a family of 5, why would you spend the gas money driving to the theater, the time to get ready, and the $100+ or whatever it might cost for a ticket for everybody, plus popcorn and drinks, when you can just wait a month and watch it at home in the comfort of your home? So, but they've removed, I think, the quintessential point of the movie theater experience is the FOMO. You need that fear of like, oh my God, if I don't see this in theaters with a bunch of people, I'm like missing out. You know, it's like when it's Game 7 of the playoffs, you want to be watching with a crowd of people.
There.
You want to
go to a bar, you know, you go,
exactly. Exactly. You want to watch it with people. You don't want to just be sitting at home by yourself and like, yeah, go Jays. You know, like for some people that might be the experience, but for a lot of people, the excitement and what sells those tickets, the reason why I couldn't get a ticket for a World Series game this morning is because everyone wants to be there.
Everyone's in. They want
everyone wants to be there in the stadium. We don't know when that's
coming back.
Exactly. And it's why No Way Home was keeping movie theaters alive when it came out in 2021, because despite there being COVID and despite everyone having to wear masks and us just barely getting to the other side of lockdowns, people were like, we gotta go to the movies for this one. We have to. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, do you feel like there should be like some form of like, I guess, like not like industry law, but like some, like, you know how like in Europe they're like, oh, you can't do this because of European law or something like that. Do you feel like there should be some form of law, like, hey, okay, no matter, there's no only on Netflix only, like it has to be in theaters for X amount of months until then? That
would have to then come down to things like the Academy, right? Like the Academy would have to really squeeze the arm of the streamers to say, hey.
And also, I think that the whatever the organization that basically kind of the movie theater organization that basically kind of dictates the cost of bringing movies to theaters. I can't remember what that organization is called, but I mean, it like because 50% of the movie's gross goes to the studio, whereas the other 50 goes to the movie theater. And I think that, I don't know whether that's a monopoly on the situation, but it basically, like, I think it just, I agree. I think there should be some sort of, like, at least some sort of regulation of, so that way you're like, okay, but I think the regulation needs to benefit the consumer. Because at this point, like, I would love to go to see a movie in the theaters right now, but I know it's going to cost me at least $40 to be able to do it with the cost of the ticket, plus also the cost of food, but even just to have the conveniences of what I love about theaters. Like, here's the thing. I'm not saying this because I'm just like I feel like a movie snob, but I prefer the Cineplex VIP experience. I like being able to like stretch out, like have the recliner seats because they're more comfortable than regular movie theater seats. Yeah. Like having food being brought to me, like more than just the regular popcorn and pop kind of thing. I like it's an experience.
No kids.
Yeah, it's an experience for me that I know I'm going to enjoy. But the problem is also too is that I also don't. It's exactly. It's a huge cost, and also there's still like even for where I live in Toronto, the closest movie theater is at least 40 minutes away for me to get to, whether that's through just taking an Uber or taking transit. And so it's the convenience. Like if I would live like next door to a theater, I'd be there every day. It's just, but it's the cost of going there and having to basically spend a majority of a day just to be able to kind of go see one movie. It's just not worth it. And there's not enough incentive for me to be able to go other than if the movie's that good that you have to go to like the Blue Jays experience. Like if it's that good, like if it was an Avengers Endgame, like that. I'm not saying that like that's because I know that's a whole other conversation of like, do we need more Avengers or like whatever? But if it's that caliber of you have to see this in theaters, like that, there's nothing for me to be able to entice me to be able to go see it. Like I felt so upset the fact that I missed seeing Sinners in theaters because I just couldn't, because I was traveling at the time and I couldn't go see it. And we had one of the only proper 70 mil prints in like near here in Toronto. It was one of the only international theaters that was carrying that format, and seeing Ryan Coogler promote that as like, this is the proper way, this is the experience I want you to have as a moviegoer, like that convinced me. I was like, I want to go. I just couldn't find the time or the ability to go.
I couldn't see it. I'm still like I'm itching for that experience. I didn't get it. I didn't get it, and I'm chasing that now.
Yeah.
So
like, that's why I like
you.
Because like when we have experiences like, I don't know if you guys have you guys heard about the COSM in LA, this movie theater like experience. So it's kind of similar to like the Sphere in Las Vegas, but it's a movie going experience where you're sitting kind of almost like in a club like setting, but it still has like comfortable chairs and has like tables and stuff. It's kind of like where you can have like a party or a type of sort of invite thing, but they have this like almost 360 dome of and they play a movie like on a huge screen in front of you, but they sort of fill out the rest of the dome with everything that like all the stuff that's around. So kind of almost like a Screen X, but instead of the two screens on the side, it's all around you. They've been doing that with The Matrix. Wow. Just go look at like The Matrix and COSM in LA, and you'll see clips of it. It just looks so damn cool. Like even in the Sphere in Las Vegas, seeing Wizard of Oz, like I know there's been controversy about it being like AI sort of filled and generated in order to be able to make it so that to turn basically an old film into a 16K screen. But it's stuff like that. Like I would gladly fly out to Vegas in order to be able to see that because it just looks so damn cool. We need more experiences like that. I don't want to say we need to do that for every single film because not every film can be able to have something like an experience like that. But like even if something's like, Sinners was a big blockbuster movie, but it also was in a way kind of an independent movie too. So like even with what they had,
it was
like
made to be smaller,
exactly,
and it got like that word of mouth. That movie is the quintessential example this year of the power of the movie theater experience, because some people went to see it and they were, because it was Ryan Coogler and he directed Black Panther and he has such a great filmography. So some people are like, I'm going to go see it because this guy has never let us down. Mm-hmm. And then it ended up being probably the best film this year, to the point where people are like, oh boy, we got an Amber Alert. Amber Alert.
Yep, I just got mine.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So sorry for the people.
Oh, we all got it at the same time, so you're good.
It's last seen in Brampton is
oh boy.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Now you know if you've heard the Amber Alert. Now you know when we recorded this. There you
go. So as I was saying, with Sinners, it's like this quintessential movie going experience where just enough people went to see it to be like, guys, this is the best movie this year. Not only that, it's like one of the best movies in the last 5 years. And it's one of the most unique, creative voices we have heard from a film in so long. And it got it to the point where everyone was like, gotta go see the movie.
Gotta go see
Everyone's saying it's that good. Gotta go see it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes one of the biggest hits for Warner Brothers to the point where I think Variety was putting out articles about how like, oh, it'll just barely turn a profit. And they had to eat crow because it's made so much money on a much lower budget than you would expect for
and they did eat crow because they re-released it or extended the dates just so that people can go and see it.
It came back to IMAX, right?
It did,
yeah. So there you go.
But they're not gonna see it that way. They're gonna instead of being like, "Oh, maybe we should put more movies in theaters," they're gonna be like, "All right,
Sinners 2,
Sinners Teen Edition,
Sinners spin-off,
kids and kids cartoons."
We always learn the wrong lessons. Yeah, that's for sure. But you know what? At least I would love for the opportunity for Warner Brothers to learn that wrong lesson by putting the movie in theaters. You know, okay, like hopefully. And that's why I give for as much garbage as Sony has been putting out. Okay, I give them credit. It's all in theaters. If they're going to bet on anything, they're going to bet on the people who are going to the movies. They're going to try putting out a Morbius film. It's not going to work, but they're going to try. And then for some reason, they're going to try again with Madam Web. And then for some reason, they're going to try again with Craven. Okay.
And then for some reason, they're going to try again and re-release Morbius because
I know. But you know what? But you know what? At least what they're experimenting with is experimenting with the movie going audience and seeing if they're able to tap into that audience and create some form of success, because that's what they did gambling on something like Venom, and they got a trilogy of movies out of it. That's what they did gambling even back in the day, 20 plus years ago, on Sam Raimi making a Spider-Man movie, giving him the reins and saying, make it how you want to, Sam. And we got probably the two greatest superhero movies of all time with Spider-Man 1.
It was the first time that any movie crossed the $200 million threshold in the first opening weekend. So,
and that is the power of movies. So not to go on so much of a tangent here. I know it's the gaming podcast, but at the end of the day, it is scary for Warner Brothers to be looking to sell to a Paramount or to a Netflix for different reasons. And at the end of the day, for the gaming arm, I am worried because they haven't brought in a ton of profit, and that doesn't look real good to potential investors or potential buyers. So they could just get rid of that arm entirely. They could restructure it entirely. Who knows?
And if you need any example of what will happen or your potential future, look at what Xbox did with Activision and the thing. Look where we are right now. The gaming industry is a hot mess right now. You know what? The Monopoly is not always. Monopoly is only meant to be played on the board. Okay, I'm letting you know right now. Okay, let's keep it there. Play it with a couple of dice. You know, I called this the dog, the little dog icon guy, but you know,
I always go for the car. And I know it's cliche. It's that everyone goes for the car, but I go for the car anyway. That segment was brought to you by our new podcast, a movie podcast. Coming soon to podcast services near you.
Oh boy, but yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, no one gets bought. I guess.
I hope not. I really don't. I don't want Paramount to own WB, and I don't want WB to own Paramount. I think it's, as we said before, it's like when you consolidate too much, there's going to become zero competition. Everything's going to be owned by only one thing, and you will see less and less like opportunities for just filmmakers to kind of stand out. And if you're not making a franchise or an IP type film, you may not have a chance to succeed. Yeah, you might get a Sinners every once in a while, but you're going to see.
Wonder too. Sorry to cut you off, Steve. That's fine. Sinners, right? The big deal about that movie is that Ryan Coogler signed the deal for him to own it, essentially. Yeah. So it put him in a position where Warner Brothers will distribute it, but he owns the property. So they can't just sit there and make spin-off after spin-off after spin-off or sequel after sequel after sequel, which I know they probably want to because it was
successful. They're probably itching for it.
They're dying for us to do it. And so that is also, again, like a really tough part about what could happen here if you see a Paramount and a Disney own everything is not only are you going to get less of your sinners in the world, you might get a couple of them. You might not get the same deal that Ryan Coogler got with Sinners. You might get people who are like, okay, give us your creative vision, but give it to us, you know, so that if this is successful, we can do everything we want to with it.
I mean, if you think about it, it's exactly what happened with George Lucas and Star Wars, and look at him now.
Yep. Exactly.
Sitting pretty with $4 billion from Disney.
I can't hear all this money falling. I'm sorry, you know.
Matt, remember when that deal went through and we thought $4 billion? That's so much money. And then it's like cut to a couple years later, Microsoft buying Activision for like $69 billion, and we're like,
I know.
George Lucas got ripped off.
Right. Crazy. Steve, what's going on for you for the rest of the week?
Honestly, it's just still decompressing for TwitchCon. I think it's going to take me at least a week to be able to kind of recover from that. But I'm going to try to get back into streaming, try to get back into making some YouTube videos. So just follow along on all my socials, and you might see when I'm going to come back.
Sounds good, Caboose.
Yeah, you know, I just started playing this really small game that I don't think anybody has heard of called Expedition 33.
Talking about sinners, the sinners of our gaming industry, right there.
Actually, kind of, yes.
Yeah.
How far are you?
I beat it last night.
You beat it. Okay.
I'm doing a lot of the end game stuff now. I wanna fight Simon. I got to get a good build for Simon though.
I have not. I just finished Act 1, but that's okay. It's all good.
Don't worry. You won't even know what I'm talking about. Genuinely, I didn't even spoil anything for you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an incredible game. It's an incredible game. I was originally of the mindset that Ghost of Yote was my personal game of the year. I do think, for me, Ghost of Yote is a game I will return to more. But Expedition 33 it's a very special game. Very special game with an incredible story behind it to how they put it together and how it got made. So yeah, they're winning game of the year. Like, it's not even it's not even a question. And I really love it. I'm in the end game now, trying to do all the end game related stuff, and I'm still hooked. Even after beating the game, I think I'm probably going to start a new game plus and just try and run through it again, because I've really enjoyed it. It's a phenomenal game. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
What about you, Michelle?
For me, same thing, Steve, catching up on many things, but we have VGLX this weekend, so I'm going to be there with MSI, hanging out with them. And
2 conventions in a row. Good luck.
I know. I'm an idiot. What did I say yes for? But also working on the Outer Worlds 2 review, so doing that as well. So that's coming out really soon. Ninja Gaiden came out today, Ninja Gaiden 4.
What are your quick thoughts on that one?
It's really good. It's just old school Ninja Gaiden. It's back, basically. The engine, though, the graphic wise, kind of look a little outdated.
That's what I've heard from some reviews. Yeah,
it looks a little outdated, but gameplay wise, I'm like, okay, the slicing and dicing you could do and everything. I'm like, oh, this is sick and everything. And
like
I didn't
hack and slash, right?
Yeah, it's a good old hack and slash game, and Platinum Games, they know how to do it. That's for sure. So
true.
And I didn't realize the guy, because he's also tied to this in a way. He made. He's the creator of Dead or Alive, the fighting game series. He passed away. Yeah. I didn't know he did. I was just sad to hear that. So, condolences to his family and friends as well for that. Because Ryu was also in the game and he also Ryu is in from Ninja Gaiden is also in Dead or Alive as well. So I remember seeing that. So
yeah.
But besides that, just catching up and petting my cat. So
nice.
There you go.
Love to hear it.
Yes.
Go Jays.
Go Jays!
Hey, go Jays!
Getting ready for game 1 on Friday.
Woo!
Coming for you, Otani. All right.
Yep.
On the plane this time for real.
On the plane this time for real.
I'm not gonna try to jinx it, but I hope that they're gonna say Dodgers lose.
The Dodgers lose. The Dodgers lose. We'll see you guys here next week. And you'll see how our Jays are going by our mood. So
yeah, exactly.
You'll see. Take care, everyone.